Hello everyone, Stormwall here. Today we'll be doing a quick live stream on update for Winter Storm Caleb that's expected to bring 8 to 1 feet of snow across parts of the Northeast, and many areas across parts of the lower Ohio Valley region could see their first snowfall of the season or snowfall accumulations. Now, let's go ahead and get started with my snowfall forecast here. Definitely some changes to it. So you are first going to notice that the 1 to 3 inch range has been vastly extended more westward. Excuse me. And same thing for the trace to 1 inch range. And there's even a 3 to 5 inch area included for parts of Illinois and Indiana. Now, models are starting to go some higher amounts for these areas here, potentially. That's why there's a question mark there, but you could probably see locally higher amounts, around 3 inches or more for that area. But surrounding that, it's 1 to 3 inch range. So we'll be starting in the Ohio Valley region. So this is valid right now into Thursday. And you can see that trace to 1 inch range extends far south is Tennessee there. Keep in mind the mountains, the lower Appalachian Mountains, we'll see probably more than trace to 1 inch for these areas here. They could probably see 1 to 3 inches of snow potentially there. So I did not highlight that, but what I did highlight for the Great Lakes region is, excuse me, the lake effect snow will more than likely be ranging from 1 to 2 feet. So that's quite a bit of snow. And some areas could see more than that there up around the Great Lakes, like Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior there. So basically, these areas here, if you're on the the east or southeastern side of the Great Lakes, you can potentially see this much snow. Now, other areas there will see less than that, but areas I could see, pretty much the core of it, will more than likely see 1 to 2 feet, but we will see about that. That lake effect snow machine will be turning on. And it does include for Lake Erie, so this will be going on a northwest flow, which I'll show you guys in just a moment. But as we move up to the northeast here, you can see along the coast there, probably won't see any snow. You will see some snowflakes, definitely, but the ground, however, is going to be too warm, and you won't see that much snow. Probably just a couple of snow showers and a few flurries there will be more than likely the case. But if you're by the Canadian border, you got a greater chance for some snow. See there, 8 to 12 inches of snow there in the purple. The darkest blue is 5 to 8 inches of snow. And that blue color there is 3 to 5. And the lightest shade of blue is 1 to 3 inches there. Pretty sharp corridor here. So this here may be a little bit difficult to forecast for some of these areas here. Probably from the 3 to 5 inches range and the 1 to 3 and trace to 1 inch there. You maybe won't see anything there. Keep in mind in the purple there, the 8 to 12 inch range, locally higher amounts are possible in the purple area there. So you could probably see more than a foot of snow. Probably see maybe up to 16 inches of snow. We will see about that. I do not have chat to pull up. So let's go ahead and check the chat here. Looks like we got no one currently except for one. So let's go ahead and move on to the GFS here. So this is, I do believe, yes, this is the 12Z run. The 18Z run will be coming out very shortly. But we're first going to take a look into this here. So here's your low pressure there. It's not really that low pressure at all. 1,012 millibars is a pretty weak low pressure system, but it does bring along quite a bit of moisture there on the back side of this here. You can see it starts to gain strength as it reaches to the northeast there. You can see even potentially some snow as far south as into Texas back here, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky there. It's not really unusual to see at this time of year, but this much snow, not really. There it goes, moving by. You can see some of the leftover snow that's left. You can even tell by the Great Lakes here that that lake effect snow machine is definitely turned on. And you can see here, the GFS does show this pretty well. So here it is into Tuesday. And you see some of that lake effect snow can go as far south as into West Virginia there. Pretty ridiculous here. And there's been some model indication it might go a little bit further south and more to Kentucky there. So Kentucky could see a few flurries there for Tuesday. And then as the winds die down as it moves out, we should see less lake effect snow. How much snow can you expect? So here's the GFS snowfall suggestions here. Like I said, for this area here, could see a little bit higher amounts. You can see 3 inches there. If you go a little bit up into the northeast here, like I highlighted, 8 to 12 inches of snow there. You can see some isolated amounts. Could see up to 14 or even 16 inches of snow up there. Around the Great Lakes region, you can see here's some lake effect snow right here. Could see up to 10 inches of snow. I think you could see more than that. Models sometimes cannot really predict how much snow you could see from lake effect snow. So it's kind of a little bit on jeopardy. But you can see here along Lake Erie, could see about 5 to 8 inches of snow there. I'll say locally higher amounts for those areas as well. So let's go ahead and move on to the CMC model, the Canadian model. You can see here it shows really well for the lake effect snow. I think it has a pretty good handle on this here. You can see potentially up to 2 feet of snow for parts of Lake Michigan there. Even for Lake Superior, Lake Huron, into Canada. Lake Erie here, definitely quite a bit of snow there. Probably could see up to 10 inches of snow there. Like I said, for the lower Appalachian Mountains or the Smoky Mountains, could probably see up to 4 inches of snow there for those higher elevations. If you move up to the northeast, could probably see up to a foot from the indication from the Canadian model. So we definitely have a lot of models to look at. We got the NAM 3KM and the HRRR model. We also got the Euro to look at. So here's the NAM 3KM. You can see, I think that's overdone down in Alabama. Keep in mind, this does include sleet up here as well. So this is not really all snow here. You can tell it really shows that lake effect snow there. You can see that corridor shows up to a foot. A little bit higher by Lake Superior. If you go down to the Smokies there, you see some pretty high snowfall amounts there. You could potentially see up to a foot. Meanwhile, in Alabama, you can probably see quite a bit less there. And if you go up to the northeast, basically 8 to 12 inches there. We move on into the HRRR model. Got to go back to 18Z to see about 36 hours out. So here's its suggestion here. A little bit lower amounts across parts of the interior northeast here on the Canadian border. You can see the Great Lakes there. Can definitely see up to 2 feet of snow. If you go as far south as into Tennessee there, up in the mountains there, could potentially see up to 6 inches of snow. So you could definitely see quite a bit of snow there. And again, down in southwestern Kentucky, could be a potential bullseye there. So we're going to see about that. Let's go ahead and move on to the European model. So this is the last model we'll be looking into before I end this. If you all guys got any questions about this, you can put it in chat right now. So here's the European model here. Keep in mind, when this front passes through, it's got a lot of cold air behind it. You're talking about record lows. We'll definitely look into that. So here's the snowfall accumulation forecast here. So we'll start off with the northeast here. You can see, it seems like Maine is starting to see a little bit less snow at this point here. But if you go down to New York, definitely a good amount of snow there. If you go about Lake Michigan, see up to a foot. But I'm pretty sure you can see more than that. Pretty widespread, 1 to 3 inches. But there is uncertainties with this area here, particularly like Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, Missouri there, and even Arkansas. Why I'm saying that's because of the ground temperature. I'm not 100% sure what the ground temperature currently is, but I'll say at this point here, for more accurate snowfall totals, the models we've been looking at least for the lower Ohio Valley region or Missouri, Illinois, take off 1 inch of snow for the models. And you probably get a pretty accurate look for snowfall totals. You can see here, pretty widespread, 1 to 3 inches. So you make it tell again, a little bit of a bullseye there of a little over 3 inches of snow there for parts of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and southwestern Kentucky there. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I do believe it's probably in the 40s because we've seen quite a couple of Arctic blasts have been very cold. So, if the snow does fall heavy enough, for the most part, you could probably get a really good snowfall accumulation. There's also potential for a flash freeze here. And let's go and look into the temperatures here. So here it was currently here at 4 o'clock. And again, big time temperature gradient here. If you're in southeastern Kentucky, you got temperature of 60 degrees here. If you go to Louisville, it's about 46 degrees. If you go to Indianapolis, it's just 32. But I think this model here is a little bit slow with this here. And I think the temperature change is going to be more greater here. I think at this point, it could be about 20s for these areas here. These areas here could be 30s and 40s, and over here could just be low 50s and upper 40s here. I think the NAM can show us. Yes, it can. Again, with that temperature gradient there. And if you go to Tuesday morning, look how cold these temperatures are. You're talking about upper teens here. I think this is a little not really overdone, but kind of underdone here. What I mean is I think the temperatures will be lower than 20 degrees here. I think we'll be in the mid-teens to upper teens here. It's definitely going to be really cold. If you move on to up to the northeast here, again, pretty good temperature gradient. If you go to Hartford, Connecticut, it's 39. If you go to Albany, it's in the low 30s, probably in the upper 20s. So if we move on for highs for Tuesday here, so at 4 o'clock here, not even making out of the 20s here at all. Probably staying in the mid to upper 20s for most of the day here. And the wind chills, we'll see about the winds here. So wind chill wise, you're probably talking about wind chill values. You can see here, Albany 26 degrees. You could probably see a wind chill in the teens here, low teens, maybe even single digits here. So let's go back to Tuesday morning here at 7 o'clock here. Currently it's 20s here. If you go up to Indianapolis, see the wind gusts 30 miles an hour. That's probably a wind chill of probably single digits there. That is possible there. So, bundle up. I mean, it's going to be really cold for Tuesday here. More than likely see some closings and delays for the parts of the lower Ohio Valley. Up in the northeast here, I don't know how y'all do, but all I do know is that y'all do all the chance for getting out of school, because what I've learned is if y'all get like 5 to 8 inches or so, you'll still be in school. So I'm not 100% sure for the Northeast, but I'm 100% pretty certain that we'll see some school closings and delays for Tuesday there. More likely for Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Kentucky there. Even for parts of West Virginia as well there. Have a pretty good chance here. So we'll see if y'all guys had any questions here. Looks like y'all don't. So I'm going to end it here, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this Winter Storm Caleb update. If y'all did like this video, hit that like button. If you do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. If y'all guys got questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. If you're watching this as a video, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.